so you were steaming the rice?
Yeah, I heard it go off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I just wanted to do an update on the wine that y'all saw me making yesterday on the channel. I'm making a blueberry wine. Um, and so I did use dried blueberries, and I used a little juice to pump them up, but then since I've added water, because originally I wasn't sure if I wanted to just make 1 gallon of wine. um, I decided yesterday after I took the measurements and everything that I would just make a 2 gallon. I'll make 2 gallons of wine. That should be about 12 bottles, anywhere from 11 to 12 bottles of blueberry wine after I'm done. I also added mandarin peels. I'll show you. Hold on a second. And just to kind of give you an idea of what I added to this concoction, okay? So I added a handful of golden raisins, which I may add a couple of more in there today. I added, not this one, not with the green peel, but this is a mandarin orange. And what I did was, originally I zested. Okay, originally I zested, and then because it's so easy to peel, it peeled right off as I was zesting. So then what I just did was I threw the peel, and it was just a one small mandarin. Okay, I just threw, and that's for a little hint of the citrus flavor. So I added that in. I'm not gonna add that in. Okay, and this is good. Okay. I'm gonna add a few more of these in because originally I was just doing 1 gallon. I'm not happy with this kit. They're lucky I don't return it. Okay, because when I got the kit, they told me I was gonna get a 2 gallon bucket, and then they had instructions that said it would have a 1 gallon line. You know, so I'll know where the 1 gallon line is. But I don't have any markings on this bucket, not even the company's name. I was supposed to get a bucket with the company's name on it, which I don't really care about, okay? I don't really care about the company's name, but I did care about those markings. And it would have made it easier for me to know, hey, I'm at the 1 gallon at this point, or, you know, but there's no marking, so I'm not happy about that. I'm also didn't get a recipe book, which was supposed to be with the kit. I'm not happy about that. What they did give me is a, what they call it, some type of code, Q on, what they call those codes, baby?
What?
What they call those codes that you use your phone to take this Q something,
QR.
QR code. So they provided me a QR code, and it took me to their recipes, and I didn't like that, okay? Because the kit should have told me that, but it told me that I was gonna get the recipe book. I like to hold things in my hand, read it whenever. You know, I might be in the bathroom and I just want to look at some recipes. You know what I mean? While I'm in the tub or sitting on the toilet. I don't like this idea, but they told me I was gonna have that recipe book, and I didn't get that. And it also, I thought it said I was getting a siphon, auto siphon, but all I got was some tubing. So I didn't get an auto siphon. And then it's also missing some tubing. It's a little, it's all crazy, okay? And I'm gonna call them, I'm gonna bother them, and they're gonna send me what I need, because I'm not sending this stuff back. I'm gonna tell them what I'm missing, and they're gonna have to send it to me. Or I will give them a 1 rating over there on Amazon, okay? So hopefully they'll work with me. But anyway, I should send it back though. To be honest, I could have bought me a bucket. Okay, I could have bought a bucket, punched a hole in it, and put the airlock and all those things. But anyway, besides all of that, I put a handful of these, and because I went to 2 gallons instead of 1 gallon. I'm not even sure if I'm at 2 gallons, to be honest, right? I don't know, but I'm gonna add some golden raisins. Okay? So I'm gonna just throw a few more in there, and this is really just for flavor. Okay, hints of different flavor profiles that you might want in your wine. I could have did this on the back end, but I want to do it at the fermentation stage, okay? And so I'm going to take a reading so we can all see at the stage that I have this what percentage of alcohol, and I'm going to show y'all how to do that. Okay, so over here, I was doing this cleaning stuff in a bucket, and like I had this red bowl that was holding the gallon. So I decided to do it in my sink. Okay, I used Star Sand, I'm sorry. I used a little bit. It just needed like a couple of drops because it tells me to use 1 ounce in a 5-gallon bucket. Bang, you couldn't play that. You ain't stopping me. It told me to use 1 ounce. This side won't open. I'm gonna probably see if I can get hubby to help me with that. So I ended up opening this side and just pouring a little bit out. And I have my meter in here. What is hydrometer or something like that, and it measures alcohol. Okay, the potential of alcohol. Okay, I'll show y'all that in a minute. And just some things that I need. I want to mash the blueberries. Now the thing that I couldn't find not one video to show me how to make blueberry wine using dried blueberries, but that's what I'm making my blueberry wine using. Hey Lena, using dried blueberries. Now they gave me a bag, right? See this bag, my hands were sanitized. In fact, y'all just saw me take my hand out of the sanitizer. They gave me a bag, and it's a bag where you put your fruit and things in, but this is a long bag and not a wide bag. I did not like that. The bag's supposed to be able to fit over the bucket so I can then pour everything into it, but I couldn't because look how, look how, wait, let me put this back on here so y'all can see. This is it. Look, I can't put this over nothing. It's long for no reason. I don't know why it had to be so long, and it's not wide enough. I'm not happy with that at all, okay? So it makes things a little more difficult. But anyway, I did have the fruit in this bag. As you see, a lot of fruit is in this bag. But, I mean, it ended up coming out the bag. Now, that's my fault, because I should have tied the bag up. But that's okay. Okay, that's okay. So... now, I do have some apples, y'all. I have a pink lady apple, which is a juicy apple. And I'm thinking about maybe putting an apple in here. But maybe I'll do that on second stage of fermentation. Because this is a lot of wine. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be anywhere from 11 to 12 bottles of wine. Okay, so let's do the reading. Okay, let's do a reading. I'll show you. So I have a little tube here. You need a tube or something. It don't have to be a tube like this, but it needs to be something where I could put this in. So I'm gonna put this inside of there, like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take. I purchased this turkey baster, and I'm gonna go down in here, and I'm gonna grab some of the juice, put it in here, and I just need to put enough to get that hydrometer to float. Okay, so where it's not sitting on the bottom. So as you can see, I know you can't really see, but it's not sitting on the bottom, and I can read it. But I'm gonna put a little more in there just so we can read it together. See, so how that thing popped up with the juice, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna kind of give it a spin, and then the reading is at 1.100. I know y'all can't see it. Let me see if I can get a zoom in. Let's see if we can get it to zoom in. I gotta turn it to where y'all see the 1.00 right there. If I even it out, you'll see that's where it lands. See that? 1.100. Yep, can y'all see that? 1.100. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this back in there, and then we're gonna take a look at what that 1.100 means. Let me see, I might have to, let me get this to focus a little better. Put my hand there. Let me focus out some. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's get to that side. See the 1.00 right there? Right here? See that? And if I turn it a little bit, boom, 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 boom. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Okay, so see that's 10% alcohol. This is 15% alcohol. And the 1.00 is here. So that's gonna fall about here, which is about 12% alcohol. You see that 10% here, 15% there, and it's falling in between that. So that puts it at about 12% alcohol. And what that means is if this goes all the way to 0.99 at the end of fermentation, if when I measure it, it goes all the way to 0.99, which is the measurement of water, right? That would mean that every piece of sugar fermented, and it would then be at that 12% alcohol. But let's say I decide I don't want it to be that strong, and I want it to be a little sweet. I want to keep some of the sweetness there. Then I will measure it, after a week I'll measure it to see where it's at. And I can stop it anytime before that, deduct where it's at from where it started, and then do the little math, and it'll tell me what percentage of alcohol I'm at. Okay, but I'm hoping that it goes all the way and zero out. Okay, I hope it goes all the way to the 0.990. And the only reason, because I probably want to add some things to it, which will kind of weaken it a little bit by adding things later in the process. But I hope that's how easy it is, right? Now, that's what you don't need any bucket and things like that. And even if you got a bucket, you could buy one, right? As long as it's food grade from a store, and make your wine. Okay, y'all know I'm cheap, baby. I'm cheap, so I'm doing things the cheaper route. Now, for me, the cheapest route for me at the time, I thought was buying the kit, especially when it went on sale. Okay, had a little discount, so I felt like okay, because it gave me yeast, it gave me things that I would have had to buy separately. Now, if I would have purchased everything separately, it just would have been too much. I felt like maybe I would have forgot something. I felt like the kit gave me everything I needed to start making wine. Now I'm going to do a test. I'm going to show you something else. Let me put this in this water. Now, this is the first one I made. I did it on May 7th. It had a starting gravity of 1.120, which put it at 15%. And we're going to take a test now because I opened this yesterday and it smells heavily of alcohol. I'm talking about heavily. Like soon as I open it, the alcohol went woo right in my face, smacked me in the face. Okay, let me turn on a different light, another light. Let's take a look at this so y'all can see the activity. Let me see. Now, what I noticed, okay, so you see the activity? Do you see it's turning into alcohol? Can you see the bubbles just racing to the top? That's the process. The yeast is working and it's turning the sugars into alcohol. Okay, now let me, I said this yesterday, but it was in a video, you know, a whole live stream. So you may not even have seen that portion. But when I made this, I had to pour some out because the bottle was full. Wait, let me back up a little bit. The bottle was full. You know, when you buy a bottle, you know it's full to the top. Took some off, poured some into another glass, and then I added 2 cups of sugar. I added 2 cups of sugar. And then I took the reading, and when I noticed how high it was, I decided, oh, let me see what the reading is before I put the sugar in. And the only reason I was able to do that is because, remember, I poured some out into a separate glass. So I measured that amount, the portion that was in the glass that I didn't add any sugar to. And what I realized, if you buy this grape juice, this Welch's grape juice, you won't even have to add sugar. And you'll just add your yeast and you will come out to 10% alcohol. This is strong because I added 2 cups of sugar. Okay. Do you want 15% alcohol? You may not. It depends on what type of drinker you are. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I meant. Remember what I said with this? I said that I can measure it and see the changes, especially once it starts producing alcohol. I could stop this before it get to 10% alcohol and then start adding other things to it. But we're going to test and see where it's at now. So right now it's at a 1 point. In the beginning it was at 1.120. Let's take a look at this. 1.1 and the 2. Okay, so see the 1.100, and then it got, after that it has a 10 and a 20. Which if you go to the 20, it would be 1.120. See how that reads? See where it says 1.100, and underneath that you see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So how you read that, it would be 1.100. Then when you go to the 10, it's 1.110. And then when you go down to the 20, it's 1.120, and so forth and so on. Y'all understand that? Okay. So this was at 1.120, would put it right there. See the 1.1 and then the 20. And if I turn it a little bit, it put it at 15%. See that? So it took, that's why I put 15%. If I take it all the way to beginning gravity, then that means this will be 15%. But let's check it out and see where it's at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a few things. I rinsed out this just now. I know y'all can't see, but I'm talking about these things, this equipment, right? You want to sterilize it between everything. So I'm gonna open this up. And take some of this juice. And don't want to add any oxygen once the wine start making, right? You want to be very careful with it. So I'm gonna put this inside lightly, like that. I'm gonna back this up a little bit so we can read it. Okay, so Now it's reading at, wow, it made quite a bit of alcohol. Let me see. Ooh, I can smell that alcohol. It smells so strong. I must be alcohol sensitive. Remember I said I don't drink alcohol because it smells. I can smell it. I can taste just the alcohol no matter what the alcohol is in. So you see how originally it was way down here. It was at the one, this thing was way down here to get that 15%, but now it's way up here. Ooh, let me see. And so now the reading is at 1.0, maybe 30. 1.030. Okay? Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? We're going to take a look and see where that's at. But it's at 1.030. Okay? So I'm going to pour that sample back in, and then we're going to take a look and see what that reads. I got to be very gentle. Putting it back in. Okay? Now, people could drink the sample. You could have drunk the sample. I could have tasted the sample. But yeah, I didn't want to do that. So what did I say it was? I gotta write that down too. Let me get a pen. I think I said it was at 1.030. So it went from, and we're gonna do the calculations in a minute, okay? But I wrote that down so we can look. So it started way down here at the 15%, and it moved all the way up here at the way up here. And right now, if I had started at that point, it would have been only 5% alcohol. That's about where beer is. If it had started there, but that's not what happened, right? It started here, it went from 15% to 5%, which kind of tells me that's 10 at this point is at 10%, right? Because it has another 5% to go. Okay. It's not always that simple, but because normally people don't put the 15%, they may just put the numbers. But because it started at 15% and now it's at 5%, we know that this has 10% alcohol at this point. I can taste it. If it tastes good, the way my son might like it, then I can get it off the leaves and stop it from fermentating more. Right? I may do that. Let me get a little bit out of there. I do not like alcohol, y'all. It's crazy that I'm even tasting it. Let me see what it tastes like though. It's not clear, right? See, it's not clear. So that's what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It'll clear and get real clear. It'll be almost like, it'll be like a pink. It'll be real light, but this is drinkable. Okay, let me taste it. It tastes good. It actually tastes good. It do not taste like that, you know, like the Welch's. It still have a little bit of Welch's taste to it, but it tastes better than it started out. Because I don't like Welch's grape juice, because they give it to you in the church and tell you that you're drinking blood, and so I never liked it. But yeah, so it's still dark in color. It tastes good though. Okay, it smells strong. Yeah. So right now, y'all understand how the math went. Now I could do it another way, and it should come out to the same number. We could take this starting number, the 1.120, and we would take the new number, 1.030, and subtract, and then I times it by a number, which is in my phone. And then it should put me at the 10%. But some of the meters I don't think have the 15%. It don't tell you where your potential, it only gives you that. The one that I have, it does help me with that. So we know we at 10% alcohol at this point. Okay? Cool. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to write that on here. I don't know why, but I am. Put the date that I did this reading and write the reading now. So you keep notating is very good, okay? Okay. So let me write that down, y'all. What's the date, babe? The 12th. 12. And it was at 1.030. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure this is not capped all the way because it's still working. And I'm put that on. This, I think, look, if y'all drink wine, even if you don't drink a lot of wine, if you just drink wine on occasion, or still, it's a good test, okay? Let me show you what you could use. Some yeast is all you need. The yeast also come in packets. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. If you go to the store, they'll have Red Store or they'll have Fletcher's. This is Red Store, and it does come in packets like this. It's usually like a 3-pack, and it's like $1. Like $1 something, $2 for the yeast. And if you don't want it to be 15%, you'll just grab the packet, pour it in there, shake it up, make sure your top is loose. You only want it on there because you don't want bugs to get in, but you want to be able to let the gases release because this is creating gases. Okay, if you put that on too tight, this bottle can explode. You know what I mean? And I know that might scare you, but simply you just put it on to where it just don't come off. But when you squeeze, the top will, because you could tell air is getting out. That's all. And you could make wine, and you could use the white grape wine. I think that's what it's called. I'm sorry, white grape, white grape juice. This is the Concord grape juice. And there's another one. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's another Welch's grapefruit juice. You want it to be at 100% grape juice. Okay? Based on what I know, it's 3 of them. Lord ADF said, hey, how you doing, baby? Anyway, so this is almost a gallon. This might be a gallon. Is this a gallon? No, this is 3 quarts. This is 96 fluid ounces, and the gallon is, let me tell you what the gallon is. Here is, I took it off of here. Look, I was taking the labels off. This is a hibiscus flower, one that I did. I did this one. I put 2.5 cups of sugar in. Okay, it needed it. And this one, it will only be 10% alcohol. If I wanted to, I could add more sugar to raise the alcohol level. But see, my starting gravity was 1.080. That put it at the 10%. And this one is well on its way. I just pitched the yeast in here just, like, it's only been like 2 days. I think it was Mother's Day. Is that what it's called? Mother's Day. Yeah, Mother's Day is when I put the yeast in there. And it's working. Now, it would be working more, but my house is cold. Okay? That's due to my hot flashes, baby. I was just wondering why can't I, like I can actively see the workings of this one, And I could see the workings of this one too. At first I couldn't see it. This bottle made it hard to see. But I do see it. Let me see if y'all can see it. Let me see if I can get y'all close enough. You see it? It's just little bubbles going up. You know, regular juice don't do that, y'all. Regular juice in a bottle is still, right? It's just still. This has active, this is active. You can see the little bubbles, and this is active. And I was worried because I couldn't see it. But my house is cold. So, but if my house was warm or even regular temperature, because it's cold here, like hubby is under, I should show y'all. We'll walk over there and show y'all him wrapped up in blankets. Let me show y'all. Don't say nothing. I don't like to laugh. I got everybody in the house freezing, y'all. They freezing while I'm hot though. And so I was worried for the last couple of days. I was like, why is my wine not doing what it's supposed to be doing? Right? I'm like, it's going slow. It should be really active. Right? I'm like, this shouldn't even take that long. And then I realized when I saw hubby, I came down yesterday, he was all wrapped up in blankets. And I said, oh, I said, damn, the house that cold. And he said, yeah. I said, I'm hot. And I looked at him. Okay, I looked at him. And I felt sorry for him. But I am hot. Okay? And he's cold. So, what's going on, Dolomite? How you doing? I like your name. Hey, Bob, creates that. What you say? Creates that fire. We was around to see it happen. Anyway, so this is hibiscus, and this is a grape wine. Okay, for those of you who drink wine, I promise you, if you make your own, right? This 1 gallon jug. This is 1 gallon. This isn't quite a gallon. Okay, these, well, you can't see. Let me zoom it out. Okay. This one is a gallon. This one is not quite a gallon. Okay. This gallon will bring you, I forget what the liters of the bottles, the regular wine bottles that people buy. This will bring 6 bottles, okay, the gallon. And I'm assuming that this will probably bring you on about 4 to 5 bottles. You buy your juice, you get some yeast. This may cost like $6, $7, but this is a lot of yeast, okay? That's a lot of yeast because you only use about this much yeast. Not even that, that's way too much. This is too much yeast as well. But you, like a pinch of yeast, about that much yeast go in a bottle. Maybe a little more, let me see. Maybe about that much yeast goes in a bottle. So this packet brings 5 gallons of wine. This packet will make 5 of these, okay? So, and it's not much in here. In fact, in this packet, this is what's in this packet. Maybe about that much is in this whole packet, okay? And that's the simple way of making wine. When you want to make it like that one that I'm making in that bucket, that's when we getting a little more fancy, okay? And I'm going to go through that real quick. But this wine, since it's active, I'm not going to shake it anymore, okay? It's already doing what it's want to do. I just want to make sure the top is on, but not all the way on, okay? And I'm going to put this back on my floor over here. And I do have another one. This is this is also hibiscus. Let me put this one up too. I do want it to clear out. Okay. So this is another one, hibiscus. I did it also on the 8th. But when I did this one on the 8th, I waited 2 days to May 11th to pitch the yeast. And that's because I wanted to sterilize the juice, which I did. Okay. I added golden raisins, and then I added everything nutrient. So this one is not like the Welch's. This one is a little more fancy. This bottle was repurposed. This was Arizona in here, but I drunk all of that. And so what this is hibiscus leaves, which is, what did I do with it? I don't need to show y'all everything. But hibiscus flowers is what it is. It's just, and because of their dried flowers, I did it a little differently. So I made the tea, which that's what you do. You make some water, you put the flowers in there, and you steep it like a tea. Then I took the tea juice and put it in the bottle. Then, then what I did was I added a Camden tablet, and that sterilized the juice, which in case there was any, pesticides or anything on those leaves, on those flowers. We don't want that in our wine, right? So that's called Camden tablet. Will clean all that up. It sterilizes everything. But you cannot put the Camden tablet when you pitch the yeast, because the Camden tablet will kill the yeast, because that's what it's there. It's there to kill anything living, anything that might harm your wine. And yeast is a living organism, okay? So I had to wait 24 to 48 hours before, and it's called pitching the yeast, but it means adding the yeast, okay? On May 11th is when I added the acid blend. You could use a lemon for that, but I have acid blend. I put yeast nutrient in, and that's to neutralize and help the yeast to do its job. I added pectin enzyme. Pectin enzyme, that is to make sure that it don't turn into a gel. Okay, I'm not sure if I needed it for a flour-based wine, but because I wasn't sure, I just added it. It wouldn't hurt. And my starting gravity was 1.100, which I need to see what that is, because I didn't put, you see, I didn't put what percentage that is. So let's take a look. 1.100 put to that the same 12%. 1.100. If I go around, we'll see that, wait a minute, I went too far. 1.100, 5 here, 10 there, and 15 is down here. And here, well, I'm in with it. Okay. You got it? Okay. So this one puts it at 12%. You notice I didn't write the 12%, which I should, but it doesn't matter. This starting number is what's important. Now, do you need one of these for that first wine? No. But when you're making something from, if you want to know the percentage of the alcohol, then you will need one of these. And if you don't care what the percentage of alcohol is, then you don't need one of these. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you're drinking it and it's for yourself, and maybe your friends, you just want to make a tasty beverage with alcohol in it, then you do not, because for the most part, if you want like a 10% alcohol, you would use about 2 pounds of sugar. And when I did the calculations, which I did because people wanted to get their recipes in pounds, I was like, damn, like how many cups of sugar is that? So I did the calculations, and basically 1 pound of sugar is like 1 cup of sugar. Okay, good. What you looking about? Yeah, so 1 pound of sugar is 1 cup of sugar. So what I would suggest is if you're looking for about a 10%. And if the item already has some sugar in it, 2 cups of sugar will get you about 10%. But these flowers had 0 sugar. It's a tea, right? It had 0 sugar, none, no sugar at all. So I need to put like 2.5 cups of sugar. Put me at that 10%. Okay. I didn't even write how many cups of sugar I put on this. Or did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I need to do that. But I do remember putting 2.5. Yeah. And then I did the measurements, and that gave me that measurements, okay? You gonna, oh, I thought I heard the TV go off. That's why I thought you were going upstairs. You don't have to, though. I'm not gonna be down here that long. Okay. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. So this one, though, I just really pitched the yeast and everything a couple of nights ago. So this one I treat a little differently. I'm gonna take this off. Because let's take a look. I do see it activate. I see, because it wasn't. Okay, it was real calm and cool. But we're going to see if y'all can see. I can see it going up. But it don't matter to me, right? Because this one, I just put the sugar in like 2 days ago. I don't think it was 2 days ago. When did you said today's the 12th? Oh, yeah, I just put the sugar in here like yesterday or the day before. And so what I'm going to do, I close up this and I'm going to shake it. Woo! Okay? I'm going to shake it. Why? Because oxygen, yeast like oxygen. Okay? Yeast, in order to get it started, getting everything going. You see that activity you see there? Even though most of that is the oxygen that I put in there. Okay? The bubbles you see is the oxygen that I shook in there, okay? So that's not the yeast, but that's the oxygen. I'm gonna oxygenate, I'm gonna put some more oxygen in it. You do that for about anywhere from, and you know how I know the yeast is in there and doing, because, oh, you couldn't hear it when I turned that cap just now, okay? So I have a couple of grapes in here, the golden grapes, and that's all I have in here. Besides the yeast, the sugar, and the hibiscus tea. Okay. And all these are just ingredients to get the wine created. Now, when I made the Welch's wine, I used this. When I made this wine, I used this, okay? I use this, okay? And then I'm not gonna take a reading because, I mean, I could take a reading, but it just started. Let me see if I smell any hint of alcohol. No, let me see. Nah, you know what I smell though? That yeast, I smell branchy. Remember, we're dealing with flowers. It smell a little branchy. Like I could smell the hibiscus, but it doesn't smell like it's nothing that make you go, it smells good. It got like a little funk to it. I'm gonna be honest. Smell like toe jam, baby. It got a little toe jam smell to it. But don't worry, that's just the yeast. Okay, the yeast is doing what it do, but that smell, it got a little funk to it. Oh Lord. Okay, so yeah, as long as it don't smell bad, mold, look green, molded, you're good. Okay, and when I say smell bad, you would know if it turned bad, and when I mean turn bad, you would know that it's spoiled. You would know. Okay, if it turns, it's not even. It can't be vinegar yet because it just started, so it's not even at that point. But even if it turned into vinegar, you know it would be vinegar, okay? Because I'm going to show you. I'm not sure, was it on this screen? So, this one and this one. Okay, so that grape wine, that grape juice, this is the color it's going to be, because this is the exact same thing. I repurposed this bottle, but when I ran out of this, which I ran out of this many years ago, okay, many years ago, when I make the wine, I put it in these bottles and put it in my refrigerator because I cook with them. So this was made with the Welch's grape juice, and see the color. It cleared up and it was real pretty, just the color it would be. And this one I made with the Welch's white grape juice, and it came out clear like that. Now, the reason I'm showing y'all this, because the other day I tasted them. Yeah, I made these last year. Okay. This one still tastes like wine. Still, it has a nice mellow taste. Let me see what my glass is. I'm gonna pour it in there with that. It's like a, no, I'm not. I want to show y'all the color. Okay. Now remember, I'm using this as cooking. Wait, I gotta rinse that. Because that color didn't look right, because it had a little grape in there. Okay, so when I put it in here, it's for cooking. Okay, so pour a little bit in here. This was made with that grape juice. See that color? That came out like a real pretty color. I didn't do anything to it. I added sugar and yeast, and through time, it became clear, and then it just became even clearer. Okay. And then I put it in the refrigerator. It tastes good. Yeah. It doesn't taste the way it tasted when I made it. It mellowed a whole lot. But also, to be honest, I realized I did something that I should have done. But I can also taste sherry, which means what I didn't do, I did not rinse this bottle. In fact, I think I poured the new wine on top of the old wine. It's what I think I did. And the reason I know, because I could taste, it tastes like a walnut. I taste like a nutty flavor in this. But that happens in wines. Okay? I'm very sensitive with my palate, my smells, and like I could smell something and tell what's in it. I could taste it and tell you what's in it. This tastes like not exactly. It's almost like these pecans. You ever had a pecan? But I'm talking about a pecan where you was in the shell, and you had to bite through it, because that's what we did when we was kids. We bit through it and got the pecans out, and it had this one part of the pecan shell that's bitter, and it's right at the top of the pecan. I know y'all. I'm from the bayou. Okay, we had pecan trees and shit, but I taste that little nutty, little bitter. It's a hint of it. I could taste it in this. And I know that did not come from, or maybe it did, from the wine that I made. It may have. I didn't drink the wine. I don't drink. Okay, my son drank the wine. But this time I'm going to bottle some, give it to him, and some I'm going to keep and let them get aged a little bit. But let me be honest, though, that Welch's wine, it's not meant to age, from my understanding. That's what I heard. Now, I'm not sure. That's why I'm going to do a test, okay? I'm going to keep one bottle or maybe 2 bottles for myself, let one age 1 year, and let another one age out 2 years and see what happens. But from my understanding, what I heard people say is that wine, because I didn't use some things in it, like I didn't use acid blend, I didn't use pectin enzyme, there's some things I didn't use to stabilize it. then it wasn't meant to last long. It's meant to drink young. I hope that makes sense. Now that's what they said. But when I bottle those, I will stabilize it. I'll either pasteurize it with heat, or I will use a chemical, which I do have. I could use Camden tablet, plus I have a potassium sorbate that I could use to stabilize it and see if I could push it out a year and 2 years. Okay, but when you make your own wines, you like, I added those white grapes or those golden grapes. I'm hoping to get a little hint taste of that. And I have these pink delicious lady apples. I'm thinking about maybe adding that. I can even, but I know to this hibiscus, I have 2 hibiscuses. This is just one of them. I have another hibiscus over there. And one of them I'm going to add strawberry to, okay, and doing the conditioning. And the reason I didn't do it from the fermentation is because, let me show you what I'm using. Where is it? It's a puree. How do you say it? Puree? It's actually made to make cocktails. This is a strawberry puree mix. I would have used this in the fermentation, where I could have put it in a bucket or in. The problem is when I looked at the ingredients, okay, they had some 8s and some ites in it. Okay, when I say 8s and ites, I got that from somebody else. And they said those are hard to ferment. They're hard to get to ferment. Okay, and let me see if I can find one. Sodium benzate. I don't know. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Let me see if I can do a close up for y'all. Here we go. So look like everything. So we got the strawberry, which is from concentrate, right? Which is okay. Citrate, sodium, benzate, and potassium sorbate. We know definitely this potassium sorbate will kill the yeast. It won't kill it. It'll stop it from growing. It'll stop it in its tracks, and therefore you cannot use it in the fermentation stage. So if you want to add this though to your wine, you will wait until the alcohol has completely done what it needs to do, right? And then you can add this, because now you have the alcohol that you're looking for, and then you can start flavoring it with anything you want, including Kool-Aid and packets and things like that. I made a wine out of water. Okay, I told everybody I'm making a water wine, because I was thinking if I can make alcohol, all I need is sugar and water and yeast, then let's do that. So I turned water into alcohol, and then my son put flavors that he wanted into each individual. He could have put it in each individual glass. Like he could have took a glass, poured that white water wine into it, and then taken different flavors and added it to it and drunk it. But what he did, we put it in bottles, and then he put Kool-Aid packets in, and he loved it. Okay, he loved it. So now this one, when I tasted this the other day, okay, see, I could drink this one. Actually, it doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. Okay, I just do not like the alcohol. Is like, whew. And I don't know what percentage the alcohol is, and the reason I don't is because I did not have that hydrometer. I did not have it. I was just making wine. I was just adding sugar and yeast, and but this is strong to me. I don't drink, so it tastes good though. I don't want to get drunk. Now, the other day I tasted this. I was telling people this came from the white grape. It came out real clear and pretty. And I also poured it, which I'm going to pour this out. Damn, I want to pour it back into my bottle. Okay, to cook with. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That tastes good with foods. You make meats and use these wines, oh my God, this, when I tasted it, look, it's clear. You can see a very hint of color. But I'm not going to taste this again. It is good, but it turned to vinegar on me. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if the wine I made turned into vinegar, or like I just told you, or maybe I had a little bit of white vinegar wine still in this bottle when I poured it in here, and that may have mixed with it, because it smells like vinegar, but it smells like a regular vinegar, but it has a taste, okay, of grapey taste. Let me taste it again. It's like a flavored vinegar. I taste grapes. I don't taste any nuttiness in it. It's like almost like a floral taste in it as well. But that might be why. That might be why. I did not know though. I didn't know that this that this was a vinegar, because I normally buy cooking wine, which this is cooking wine. This is cooking wine. They're in the same area, except this is sherry. This is a cooking wine, and this is a vinegar. This is a white wine vinegar. They're for cooking. Okay, I think when I poured it in here, it may have had some in there. I did not clean the bottle or anything. I just poured what I had in here. Ooh, that tastes strong. So even if your wine go bad and turns to vinegar, you can still use it. You cook with it. But if your wine, look, there's an ant crawling on my, what you call him? Oh my goodness. If your wine go bad with mold, microscopic things in it, that's bad, okay? You're going to throw that out. But if it just turns to vinegar, when do it turn into vinegar? At this stage that is at now, this one won't turn to vinegar yet. But see that Welch's one that I showed y'all? If I start putting oxygen in it, like shaking it up, because it's alcohol, it's a significant amount of alcohol in there, but it's not too much where it won't turn to vinegar. So if I move it around, splash it around, shake it all up, it can turn into vinegar. The oxygen being added is what turns it to vinegar. Okay, there's a process. I forget what the process called. Now, once the alcohol begins at a certain level, though, let's say around 13, 14, 15%, the chances of that happening is slight, but it can happen. The more alcohol, okay, the stronger the alcohol, the least likely it is to happen. But it can happen, okay? It can happen. I've seen people do tests to see what they have to do to ruin. But they wasn't making wine. They was making what is it called when you make it with honey, baby? Mead. They was making mead. Okay. Which I want to make some mead also. Okay. That takes honey. Okay, I did find some honey, wildflower honey I was thinking about. But anyway, y'all see, so listen, even if you don't use your wine for drinking, you can make your wine for cooking. Now you become a professional cook. Use your wine for cooking. Use your wine for cooking. Anyway, I'm going to shake this up again. Let me see what we got. Can you see the movement? I do see it. You can see the little bubbles breaking up in this area as well. Okay. I don't know why I could see it in some bottles clearer than I could see in this one. But 3 to 4 days of giving it oxygen. And after that, don't give it any more oxygen. Okay. Oh, I loosened it. And then okay. Give it some oxygen. The yeast likes it. I'm going to loosen that up. Because we saw an ant. We definitely don't want no bugs going inside. Okay. Now let's get back to the one more and then we're gonna be done. Just leave this up there. Okay, so let's take a look inside of here. Wait, let me sterilize my hands. Because I do have to grab some things. Okay, so here is the bag. I think I showed y'all that. The one thing you want to do when you have a bag in is you want to punch that down every day, because what happens, the fruit will float to the top. The bag also floated to the top. But let's say I don't punch it down. This part can get molded. So every day, or every couple of days, you definitely want to go in and kind of punch that down. Okay? We'll make sure it stay wet. I could go in there and I'm not sure if y'all can see that right there. That's remember I told y'all I put a peel of orange in there. Okay, for a little flavor. And you can see one of the raisins right there. That's different color than the blueberries. Punch that down, make sure it stays wet. This masher is not too good for this because it's too wide. See how they fit right in? So of course it's not mashing it the way I thought it would. Okay. Get those out of there. Okay. I heard, and listen, I'm new to this. I heard that you don't want to ferment oranges. I heard that it doesn't come out so well. And if they do it, I heard that it wasn't a good experience. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try it. Eventually I will, if I keep up with this hobby. It's because it's a new hobby to me. But I'll try it then. But I don't want to make anything that will discourage me from continuing. Does that make sense? Like if I make something that tastes horrible, I can assure you I will stop. Okay? But if I make something that's fairly good, and then I start messing around, see if I can get it better, then it'll keep me on the track. Seems like a good hobby. It is time, right? It will be in here. Not everything. I'm probably gonna keep the fruit in for maybe a couple of weeks, and then I'll go in and take the fruit out. Maybe. It depends, okay? It depends on the taste and different things like that. But you do want to be very careful. Let me see what y'all saying. Hey, Maya, how you doing? Hibiscus is my favorite. Hey, Brownie. Fruit flies can turn you. Oh, yeah. May is right. Hey, Mr. Cav. That's what I heard. I heard that one bug. I heard that one bug, especially fruit flies, because those are the ones that will get in. I heard one bug can get in and turn your whole batch into vinegar. So she's right about that. Now remember, okay, I can't give y'all a whole lot of information. I'm new to this, but I'm only true to this as long as I'm true to it. It may be for a couple of months, it may be for a few years. I'm one of them people who grab hobbies, okay, out my back pocket, baby. I see somebody do something, I'll be like, I could do that. And then I proceed to do the research. I make a decision on if it's worth it. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not sure if it's worth it, but my son do. And I like giving gifts. I like giving people things that they can't just get. You know what I mean? I was trying to look up how I can make wines without making alcohol, like non-alcoholic wines. But yeah, that was ridiculous. What I did find was ridiculous. It was like you just making fruit juice. It was like you making fruit juice. I was like, okay, that don't. That don't sound like what I want to do. So I'm gonna stick with the wine. You can always cook off the wine. You can always get the alcohol to go away by warming them up. To be honest, I thought about all that. But maybe if I make a wine, something that I like, maybe I will like the alcohol. Maybe I make it either lower in as far as the percentage. Maybe I like it. I don't know. But we're gonna see. And what I'm saying to you is, you can follow some of my advice, but don't take. I don't know everything. I'm a beginner. That's what I'm saying. I'm a beginner. But I will help you walk through it. I will do the research and make sure you don't mess up. Because just like I don't want to mess up my ingredients, I don't want to mess up my blueberries, I don't want you to mess up your blueberries. Okay? So you could trust me in as far as that. But that's it. That's it. You can't trust. Don't ask me for no, don't ask me, Bomb, how could I turn that into a higher percentage? I don't know what the highest you could take the percentage. I know it's as far as the yeast will go. And alcohol kills yeast, right? It kills yeast, or it makes them, it settles them down when they will no longer produce. I don't know how to get the alcohol much higher than, except telling me that you need a yeast that will be able to handle the higher alcohol content. That's all I know so far. Okay. Plus, I wasn't looking into making higher, but I can tell you how to distill it in your freezer, though. Oh yeah, I can tell you how. Once you make your wine, you put it in the freezer, and alcohol does not freeze, and so you then you drain off the alcohol off the ice, right? That means only the water or liquid will freeze. So it's a process of distilling through using your freezer. Now let me tell you something. I'm not saying that that's legal or not, because I was doing my research on seeing if when I make my wine, can I send one of y'all a bottle? Like I was thinking about doing like something where, where we could do, I don't know what it's called, but where I put everybody's name into something, pull a name and see who wins a bottle of my alcohol just for y'all to taste. And I'm running into a lot of bull crap, okay? First, it's not as far as shipping alcohol. I found that might be illegal. Okay? Now that's weird, because I see where people, they order and buy alcohol, but it's not from a home brewer, right? Without licenses and things. I also thought, okay, well, if I give it away, well, I'm not selling it, but I give it away like a gift. I was looking into that. And yeah, the problem came with the shipping. And also, I did find somebody shared me a website of somebody selling their alcohol. But it was, when I looked at it, how was they getting away with it? Religion. They was using a religious type of vibe with their website, and hell, you could go on there and buy their alcohol. I was like, shit, we gonna be Wiccans over here, baby. Look. Look, I've been doing the research, okay? I've been doing the research. Bomb don't want to go to prison. That's one place I do not want to go, okay? Bomb only gonna go to prison if it's necessary, and it will be not over no wine, okay? It will not be over no hobby. If you want, you're gonna have to come pick it up. Okay. Anyway, so y'all notice that the fruit has come to the top. The fruit look healthy. I like blueberries, but I don't like blueberries. Like, I like the taste of blueberry. I'm not even sure if those blueberries really are blueberry. Because blueberry, why they make it always blue? I have some blueberry Jolly Ranchers, and they're blue. And these things are nowhere near blue, and that juice is nowhere near blue. So we know that that's food coloring. So I don't even know if I like blueberries for real. But I do have some blueberries. See, my grandson loved blueberries. When I taste a blueberry, I don't find it to be fascinating. Let me taste one. Um, there's hardly any. I remember. Yeah, I remember these. There's nothing fascinating about them. You know what I mean? It's like it's barely any flavor. It tastes like almost like a grape kind of, but just yeah. I don't. There's nothing fantastic about them. Oh, let me put him up. My son might see me. Hold up. I hear him. Look, he bought those for my grandson. Yeah, they don't taste like what I thought they would taste. When you buy a candy, even the blueberry Kool-Aid, this don't taste nothing like that. So I'm not even sure if I'm gonna like this. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It doesn't have a burst of flavor. Which kind of tell me that everything we buy that's blueberry is a fake, phony flavor. Okay, because the blueberry candies do not taste nothing like this. The blueberry Kool-Aid doesn't taste nothing like this. Anything I've had ever that's blueberry has never do not taste like a blueberry for real. Yeah. From my understanding, I heard that they use a lot of grape juice or maybe orange juices and mix them and blend them and sell it to us. Okay. Anyway, so what do I have to do with this next? Let me show you. I took a reading of this, didn't I? Did I show y'all me taking a reading of this? I did take a reading. But no, that was you. What we said the reading was, baby? 1.100? Yeah. It changed from when I first took it. Because when I first took it, it was at 1.1. It was at 1.122. I'm gonna do it one more again. So we're gonna take a reading of this, and then we're gonna do this. Okay. So these things that you see me pulling out, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but when I finish using it, I put it right back into the sanitation liquid. Okay. So y'all, and I'm gonna dig down in here and grab some juice. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna do it again because I don't want a blueberry getting sucked up. I'm gonna sit that right there because and this came because I don't want it to overflow. Okay, let's make sure it's off the bottom. I'm gonna put a little more in there just to make sure. Put that back. Okay, so we're gonna read this. We're gonna spin that. And we're gonna see where that is. Yep. So you can see that number clear as day right there. Let me see if I can bring it in for y'all to see. Y'all see that number? 1.100. Y'all see that? It's right at that line. Yesterday, I wonder why when I maybe because I had just put the sugar in, but it was showing a little higher. Oh, I added more liquid too. Okay. So it's at 1.100. That's a good starting point, which puts it at 10%, right? It's a little, no, it's higher than 10%. It's about 12%. What a 15% at? Yeah, 1.100 puts about 12, between 12 and 13%. You see it? I'll show it to y'all in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna pour this back in. I don't have to be careful. I just put the yeast in here yesterday, so actually last night it wasn't haven't even been 24 hours yet. I don't even see the fermentation starting yet. So 1.00, let me 1.100. Y'all see it right there? We're gonna move it. We're gonna go and see the 10% is up there. The 15 is right there, so it's real close. If this 15 is 14, that would put that at 13% potential alcohol. Okay. So I'm gonna write that on my card. You have to keep notes if you want to know what you're doing. Okay. So 1.100. I'm gonna scratch this one out. See, yesterday I had put that it was 1.122, but I scratched that out, put that at 1.100. I know nothing, no alcohol. Huh. Yeah, I don't think, let me see. Yeah, it could have fermented a little bit, but I don't smell any alcohol. It was just yesterday. I don't think it created alcohol that quickly. So I think that was just, the sugar was, but that doesn't make sense. That don't make sense. Did I put any? Maybe I put. Oh, okay. I know what happened. So originally, yesterday, if you was here, I was making 1 gallon, so it was down here somewhere when I did that reading, and then I added liquid, and then I was like, oh my, because I was trying to bring it up to the gallon, what I thought was the gallon, and then I said, oh my God, the reading don't count because now I've added liquid, I added water. And then I had to then start playing around. And I said, well, if I add more water, it's going to be less alcohol. It brought it to 5%. Then so I added more blueberries and added more sugar. And that's why the number changed. Okay. Glad I remember that. Okay, so I just scratched that. So now we at 2 gallons. This is a 2-gallon bucket. I don't think this is possibly 2 full gallons of water, but I'm not sure, and it's my fault because I do not measure my liquid exactly. Okay, usually you have your gallon of water so you know you don't go over. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care that significantly. Okay, this is a 2-gallon bucket. It's not all the way to the top. It tells me that this is probably not fully 2 gallons. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm gonna put this, sterilize this, and we're gonna end this in a minute. So, if anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions? Let me see. It don't look like y'all do. I want to thank y'all for coming and listening. Okay. I will keep y'all informed. This bucket is not a regular bucket. I wasn't happy. Okay. So yesterday I tried to put the bucket on. And I gotta find something to bang it and make it go on. And then I was confused because I'm sure you I have to sterilize the lid because it was sitting over there. But so let me back it up a little bit. So this is the lid, and I have the airlock that goes there. And then I was trying to put the lid on, and I was like, I can't get the lid on. I cannot. So I looked online. They want you to bang it on, and I was like, well, if I bang it on, how am I gonna get it off? Then when I was trying to put it on, I see something. See where it says tear? And I'm like, what the hell? What they want me to tear this off for? I don't understand. There's no instructions on this. But I was like, well, am I going to be able to use it again after I tear it? Am I supposed to tear it before I put it on in order to put it on? Am I supposed to, like if I was supposed to tear it before I put it on, then why is it even there? It shouldn't even be there. So I am so confused, okay? Then when I looked online, what did I say? Oh, that must be a name or something like that. Maybe I need to look that up. But so it's set. I've set it on there like this yesterday, right? Because it doesn't. I can't. And then it's this. And then I was like, well, maybe it's screwed on. So I started turning it. And then I looked in here and I saw no thread. So I was like, okay, that's not how it happened. And now I'm worried that if I tighten it all the way on, how am I going to get it off? I'm going to need hubby to get it off for me every time. He may not know how. And, but I did see people where they got a hit. Look, oh, it snapped on. Look, I got it on. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, but when I got that one on, it popped off. Oh, that hurt. Baby, that hurt. I hurt my hand. Oh. I hurt myself, baby. I hurt myself. What is that? Uh-oh. I hurt my hand, y'all. Look, I'm gonna use this mallet and see if I can get it. Now that ain't working. Oh, it did, but okay. Okay. Now, oh, ah, yeah. Now, how am I gonna get that shit off of there? I don't think that was a good idea. You see? Look, y'all. It's on how I can't even. That's why you gotta grab it here. Oh, maybe that's why you gotta tear it, I guess. To get it off, I'm gonna have to. But now I can seal it. Because yesterday I put it on. It wasn't fully. And then I covered that hole up with the airlock. But so the airlock, let me show y'all that. Let's take a look. Let's move a little bit. Okay, hold up. Gotta get this right. I don't want my phone to fall. Okay, here we go. So this is the solution. You start everything in. Every time I used it, I set it in here. Here go the hydrometer. Go this thing. Okay. So the airlock, where is it? Here we go. So I've sterilized the airlock. And it's supposed to have enough water in it to where it bubbles if it needs to. The air gets out and no bugs can get in there. And if bugs get in there, it won't survive because of the liquid, the sanitizing liquid. Some people use alcohol. Some people use just regular water, but I heard that a bug can get in and survive in the water. And if it can work its way through this part, it'll be able to go in the in your wine. Okay, so and if I need some of that water to come out, because I thought this top comes off, but oh, it does. Look, I couldn't get it off yesterday. Y'all must be my good luck charm, because I could not get that off yesterday. Okay, the way I put water in it yesterday, I just set it in there like this, and water went inside of it. Okay, but yeah. I tried to I didn't want to break it. You know how you don't want to break stuff because you're not sure? That's what it was. So this has been sanitizing. Okay. There is, I can't really see, but from my understanding, I'm supposed to put water up to a line. And I don't know what line because I really can't see what they say. Let me see if I can see it through the phone. Do y'all see any words? Any letters, anything? No. See what I mean? This kit is full of crap. Okay. It's missing the lines on my bucket. It's missing the lines on this thing. Just a whole bunch of crap. Okay, wait, let me put that in there. And let's see. See that hole at the top? That's where the lock goes. I'm gonna get some of this water to come out. If the sanitizing liquid go on the inside, that's okay. But I don't want to. I want to make sure that, and I put that on there, and I get that in like that. And when the fermentation is happening, you'll see the bubbles in here. Now, what I should have did. Wait a minute. Let me take this off. What I should have did was mix this heavily before. Let me cover that up as well. Before I close that up, I didn't think I was going to be able to close it. Before I close it up, I'm going to take that up. Get some air, oxygen in there for the yeast. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that. And then we're going to put this on and see if we can get that bubbling. And you see the bubbling happening. You see it? So that's how you know that this works. And that's how you know I have a seal on. That's just the H2O, the oxygen that I put in there coming out. But that means I have a seal. I have a seal around here and I have a seal here. Okay? And for the next couple of days, all I'm going to do is take this bucket. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to shake it to make sure the bag and everything at top gets wet. Also bringing some oxygen to and hoping that the yeast does what it needs to do. And I'm going to write up my label and put it on here. Okay. I have been writing everything, but I was writing every look. I didn't have my piece of paper around, so it's just on the back of a bill or whatever the hell this is. So I'm gonna rewrite it up on a piece of paper and tape it to it, and then we'll know everything we need to know. Camden tablet where it started, everything I put in here. I put some grapes, the white raisins, that's what they were. I did add some more of that today. And what else did I add? Nothing else, right? I added nothing else. Okay, cool. Took a reading, and we're gonna put that in a place where it's not exposed to a lot of light. And you want it to be room temperature, but my rooms are cold. So this will probably take a while. But I'm gonna check it in a week. I'm gonna check it in a week, make sure that it's doing what it needs to do, and then we'll take a reading in 1 week. Today is Monday, babe? Oh, today Tuesday? Okay. Next Monday or Tuesday, we'll take another reading. I'll come back, we'll check on it, and we'll check on the others too. We'll do some readings on those, and y'all see how this press is done. And what I would say, hey, go grab you some juice. Listen, do it with me. If y'all listen, if you don't have money for yeast, I'll put some yeast in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it to you. Okay, but you go and buy you a Welch's grapefruit juice. In fact, I don't even have to send it to you. If you need the $1 for the yeast, I'll send you the $1 for Cash App. Okay, but first you gotta go and show me that you got that bottle of goddamn juice. Okay. And do this, let's make this wine. Okay, let's make this wine. It's a great experiment. And look, your kids can help. Now, you probably don't want to make wine and tell your kids they can drink it, but nothing wrong with this scientific, how they turning water into wine. Or don't even call it wine, just call it alcohol. And you know, or we can do some other fermentations. We don't have to turn water into wine. We could ferment fruits and vegetables if y'all want to. Okay, I can show you how to do that. We're gonna do some ice creams. I'm gonna put some different things that I want to do this year, and I'm gonna keep the kids in mind, like the teenagers, even some of the younger ones. I'm gonna keep them in mind, and I'll let y'all know when we're gonna do it, and tell you what you need to get so they can follow along. Because my nephews want to make homemade pizza dough, so I'm planning that. They want to make homemade ice cream. I'm planning that. And what else they told me they want to do? They want to bake cakes and stuff like that. But I may show them how to do that in the microwave. But anyway, this summer, okay, we're gonna be messy, but we're gonna also get some things done, okay? we're gonna do some things. Anyway, you said so. I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for participating with me. Look like I've been on here for over an hour. Look, I've been on here for yeah, almost 2 hours, almost. But see y'all later. You going back? What you about to do?
Yeah.
What time is it? Huh?
10.
Oh, okay. You look good, baby. I'm coming up. My husband looks so cute. In them pants, he looks so good in them goddamn pants. He was walking away from me in them pants. And I saw his butt, and I was like, you looking good. Where you going? I'm about to go see if I can get in the shower with him. Okay? So I might see y'all later, okay? If it is, it might be in about an hour or two, okay? I got some things I got to go do, okay? Let me put this back in the freezer, okay? That man be looking tall and handsome. I didn't even see his face. It was from the back. He was looking good, okay? So I got to go. I'll see y'all later, baby. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Bye-bye. Hubby, I'm coming. I'm coming.